This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House lawmakers are set to vote on legislation that would give Congress the final say over major rules issued by the executive branch. Susan Ferricchio reports the planned vote follows an aggressive regulatory push by the Biden administration to advance the president's agenda without opposition from Congress or the public. Dozens of regulations have been implemented and dozens more are under consideration. That includes proposals that would force popular home appliances from the market, among them many models of gas stoves, refrigerators, dishwashers, and washing machines. Leading technology companies are facing fresh allegations of spying and privacy violations. Ryan Lovelace reports Russia's Federal Security Service alleges the U.S. intelligence community compromised thousands of Apple iPhones in an espionage operation targeting Russians. The FSB, as it's known, accused the U.S. National Security Agency of being the culprit of the allegations. The NSA declined to comment to Ryan on the accusation. Apple told Reuters it never worked with any government to install a backdoor in its products, and never would. Domestically, the Federal Trade Commission and Department of Justice are ordering Amazon to change its data deletion process over allegations it violated a children's privacy law and deceived parents about its storage of voice and location data. Amazon is set to pay a $25 million civil penalty to resolve claims that it violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Wildfires, unrelenting storms, and the ballooning cost of rebuilding after those storms are straining the nation's property insurers, forcing customers to confront dwindling options and higher premiums. Tom Howe reports the insurance industry is being socked by a triple whammy of natural disasters, likely fueled by climate change, rising construction costs that can exceed inflation, and costlier reinsurance, a kind of insurance for insurers that stabilizes the market by spreading out risk to protect companies when they face unusually high claims. To that end, State Farm recently stopped accepting new applications for business and personal lines of property and casualty insurance in California. Allstate quit writing new policies in the wildfire-prone state last year. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says FBI officials revealed that an informant file alleging President Biden engaged in a bribery scheme during his vice presidency is part of an ongoing federal investigation. After viewing the document with Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin, who disputed the Republicans' characterizations, Kerry Pickett reports Comer said he'll move forward with proceedings to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt for not turning over a physical copy of the document. Comer and Raskin reviewed the document detailing a claim that President Biden engaged in a scheme to take a bribe from a foreign national when he was vice president. Raskin called the allegations secondhand hearsay and an aimless fishing expedition. And finally, the alliance between South Korea and the United States, which marks its 70th anniversary next month, has delivered significant dividends for both parties, but is also facing strategic and economic frictions. Andrew Salmon reports South Korea and the U.S. last year did $227 billion in bilateral trade, but South Korean chipmakers reportedly have discreetly voiced concerns over the lack of transparency and consultation in U.S. policymaking on semiconductors. Additionally, South Korea remains reluctant to commit to any role in the defense of Taiwan against a possible Chinese attack. President Biden has been outspoken on the matter, saying the U.S. military will fight for the island. The alliance was forged after the Korean War ended inconclusively in July 1953. Despite hundreds of clashes and crises since, bilateral deterrence has kept a hostile North Korea and the further specter of war at bay. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/frontpage or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. The Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.